AskReddit by Marble Mimic. What disgusting advice ended up being actually helpful? Use your own spit to get bloodstains fully out. The enzymes from your own saliva will break down your own blood. It works. My husband thought I was nuts for telling him to spit on a bloodstain on his shirt. He skeptically tried it and was like, "Holy shit, that worked." I was dying laughing at his reaction to me saying, "Spit on it." "Yes. Just spit on it." Try it even more hilarious. I had no idea if it would actually work. I'd only read about it. But it did work, and really well. It just sounded crazy. Visually check your bowel movements after you have them for any changes. When my dad got bladder cancer, I learned a lot of information about what subtly different shades of urine mean, so I was obsessed with analyzing mine for a while. I was annoyed when my doc told me to chart my blood pressure daily after retiring, as my dad had died from a stroke at age 65. I always thought it was 3 packs of Salem cigarettes, but I did the charting. A slow increase, and the doctor did some tests. I had a blockage in a carotid artery that had to be replaced as it was close to breaking. I got to at least postpone my stroke. I am 71. Preventative care for the win. Always close the toilet seat lid before you flush. Always pee after sex. It's shocking to me how many people do not default the toilet to the closed position when they are done. One time at a bus stop, an old man told me that if I get hair in my mouth while eating out a woman, I can get it out of the mouth by licking the inside of her thigh. The advice was completely unsolicited and I had no idea who this man was and haven't seen him since, but it does work. This old dude wandering around giving sage sex advice to randoms. Someone told me at summer camp that his brother got food poisoning one time and was throwing up and having diarrhea at the same time, and mentioned he should have sat on the toilet and puked in the trash can. Fast forward 30 years, I ate gas station coleslaw, and this tip saved my bathroom decor. The better tip would be not to eat gas station coleslaw. If you see someone have a motorcycle accident and you are the first responder, do not remove their helmet. Plenty have had their neck injuries exacerbated by untrained people yanking on the helmet to pull it off. Let the paramedics arrive and let them handle it. Unless you are trained in first aid, you are more likely to hurt them. I was in a car accident when I was 9ish. We were stopped at a light and a car slammed into us at 55 miles per hour. My dad's parental instincts came over him first, and clear as day he made sure me and my sister were okay and out of the car. The instant he knew we were okay and came out of the car, he was just gone. He was laying on the ground with a bad concussion, confused as hell and constantly asking for us even while we held his hand. Lucky for us, a nurse saw the accident, ran over and grabbed my dad's head, pinning him to the ground so he wouldn't move. He kept trying to check on me and my sister. Nurse had to scream at him a few times, "Don't move," until he finally went still. 6'1" man in a tiny 1980 Honda Civic with no airbags. He definitely got bumped around, and I'm so thankful to that nurse for keeping him still. Always close your mouth when doing a diaper change on a baby. I remember when I had come back from a training flight, Air Force, when my son was about 4 or 5 months old. I had just started to open the door and hear my wife scream, and she stormed out of our son's bedroom and faced me, and I see a splash of a grayish green liquid dripping from her cheek and collarbone. She's practically blowing steam out of her ears and yells, "You need to go take care of your son now." I turn to go into his room when I observe a line of diarrhea dripping from almost the top of door and in a 6-foot runner down on the floor from the door to his changing station. Prune juice. It is nasty, but you will shit faster than laxatives or any Miralax, Collis, etc. Had abdominal surgery a few months back and was in no rush to poop as the abdominal pain was uncomfortable as it is. My ER nurse mom got on my case on day 4 and said I needed to confirm I could go and suck it up. Drank a glass of prune juice and 4 days of shit came right out. Luckily I was safely home with a bathroom available. I just want to add that suppositories are far superior to oral laxatives like Miralax, Collis, etc. Sure, it's a little disgusting to insert the suppository, but it works in about 15 minutes with minimal cramping and no extra bloat. Wish I had discovered suppositories sooner. Full stop. If you have to throw up but need to get to the toilet in time, start to hum loudly. You can't throw up while you're humming. You have to hurry, though. It saves only a few seconds. Adding to this, another sign to get to the toilet quick is if you start producing more saliva. Deleted. In construction we always say don't put your fingers anywhere you wouldn't put your dick. I remember watching Girl Code on MTV years and years ago, and they said to flush your poop as it comes out if you don't want it to stink in a public restroom. It works. Courtesy flush. If you're a woman in super constipated impacted BM and just can't push the poo out, you can put a finger in your vagina and very gently help guide it out from the wall facing your anus. You shouldn't make a habit out of this though, as it's not the healthiest thing to do, and doing it too roughly can possibly damage your vagina or anus. If chronic constipation persists, see a doctor in a pinch, though it works as a last resort before going to a hospital to get an impacted BM manually removed. Other methods that may help. Stand and twist your torso as far as you comfortably can to the left then to the right, or whatever you want to do, just get twisting. Trying rocking yourself, bend forward at the waist, then back. Squatty potty if you don't have a brand name one. Your small bathroom trash can is a good substitute. I don't have a brand name one. Source: I watch a poop doctor on TikTok, lol. Shouldn't be disgusting, but many people aren't comfortable with it. Installing a bidet is a game changer. Weird how they aren't comfortable for what is essentially a mini shower for your butthole, but they are comfortable wiping fecal matter off their butthole with just paper in their hand. Not disgusting per se, but toilet related. Get a squatty potty or toilet stool, and correct your pooping posture. Literally has made a world of difference to me. It's so much easier and more comfortable. I use a stack of my college textbooks as a makeshift squatty potty. Broke student, but still want a comfortable shit. Sucking snot out of baby's nose makes things better for all involved. Baby sleeps better, mom sleeps better. The little tube contraptions to do it seemed gross as hell at first, but you get used to it and the results are worth it. Before I remembered the little suction tube existed, I had a visual of someone putting their mouth over a baby's nostrils and slurping snot out of their nose. I fucking gagged. Cleaning your greasy kitchen areas with cooking oil. Sounded like WTF, but have a greasy hood that needs scrubbing? Take any cooking oil and wipe it down first. It's like fucking magic. You barely scrub, the gunk just melts off. Then you follow up with a proper cleaner. I just use vinegar in water with a dab of dish soap. Cleans right up. It's been a game changer for cleaning greasy shit. I wish I could thank the person on Reddit who turned me onto that trick. If you frequently get skid marks in your underwear, it's probably less to do with your butt wiping abilities and more to do your diet of junk food. That stuff glides out of you like greased lightning. Interesting, I always felt like poor diet gave my husband messy poops where you wipe and it never ends. Always rinse your sinuses out when you feel an infection or even a head cold starting. You may see some disturbing things come out of your face, but it's worth avoiding an infection getting even worse. I really like the idea but just can't bring myself to do this despite trying many times. I do however shoot a couple blasts of iodine nasal spray up each nostril and it helps the same way. Eating something spicy to clear a stuffy nose. Oh yeah. I was slowly recovering from a head cold and decided to kick the rest of it with some local Mexican food. I called off the next day because my colon was a water balloon full of septage, but my nose was clear. If you can handle spicy better than I can these days, then it really does work. Sadly, my stomach doesn't handle it well anymore. Always pee after sex. My dad's favorite saying when he'd meet my sister's new boyfriend. If you sit on your hands for 10 minutes before you have a wank, it feels like someone else is doing it. I don't know if it was helpful to them, but the reaction always helped my day a bit. Is your dad Peter Griffin? Being a good person at the expense of your mental health is incredibly overrated. What is an example of something that you would consider not behavior of a good person that saves one's mental health? For men, if you feel cold but your balls are low, then you're probably feverish and having hot and cold flashes. For women, if you wait to have sex till off until you really have to pee, then it will usually be easier to have an orgasm. The branches of the clitoris wrap around the bladder, and extra pressure can make things easier. Similarly, pregnancy, fetus pressing on bladder, and pronarbone, woman laying prone, can make female orgasm easier. Am I weird that the full bladder just distracts me? I'm too in my head worried I'll end up with a UT. I get so anxious about holding my pee. Exercise helps with depression. I was disgusted at the time the advice was offered, and I'm still pissed off at how true it is.